us to other stories this morning. In the lead up to the 2024 general elections last year, it was Prime Minister Narendra Modi who warned about certain attempts being made by certain forces to interfere to meddle in election process. The caution came on multiple occasions, including an exclusive interview with Times Now, in which Prime Minister Narendra Modi categorically said that the world is trying to influence Indian elections. But he also expressed confidence that the people of India will not be influenced. And amid the storm over U.S. aid funding to boost voter turnout in India, which has now been cancelled, U.S. President Donald Trump has dropped a bombshell. Donald Trump hinted at a $21 million US grant that was possibly intended to make someone else get elected in India. Let's first listen in to what the Prime Minister said, and then Donald Trump's statement, which is an affirmation of the Prime Minister who had stated the same all along.
ये फैमिली खुले तौर पर भारत में राजनीति को प्रभावित करने के लिए विदेशी शक्तियों को दखल देने के लिए उकसाते हैं। ये लोग कैसे गुप्त रूप से भारत को पसंद न करने वाले विदेशी डिप्लोमेट के साथ सीक्रेटली मिलते हैं।
आज जब भारत तेजी से आगे बढ़ रहा है तो कुछ देशों को, कुछ संस्थाओं को ये पसंद नहीं आता है। बहुत से लोग हैं वो यही चाहते हैं कि भारत कमजोर हो।
मैं देख रहा हूं पूरी दुनिया भारत के चुनाव को इन्फ्लुएंस करने के लिए कोशिश कर रही है, जो कि उनको नहीं करना चाहिए। ये वो अपना ओपिनियन नहीं दे रहे हैं, अपना कमेंट नहीं कर रहे हैं, वो इन्फ्लुएंस कर रहे हैं। लेकिन भारत में इन्फ्लुएंस नहीं कर पाएंगे। भारत के लोगों के बहुत सी अंदरूनी जो शक्ति होती है वो बड़ी जबरदस्त होती है।
What do we need to spend $21 million for voter turnout in India? Wow, $21 million. I guess they were trying to get somebody else elected. Well, we ought to tell the Indian government this is a total breakthrough. I have a lot of respect for India. I have a lot of respect for the Prime Minister. He just left, as you know, 2 days ago. But we're giving $21 million for voter turnout. It's voter turnout in India. What about, like, voter turnout here?
Now, even when it comes to such statements that have now been coming from the U.S. President himself, the BJP back home is claiming vindication, saying that it has now been established that attempts were being made to stop the Prime Minister from coming back to power. BJP also referred to Rahul Gandhi's March 2023 statement in London, where he stated that the U.S. and Europe seems to be oblivious that a huge chunk of democratic model has come undone. Now, while the BJP today is now accusing the Congress of plotting to undermine Indian democracy, the Congress has called Donald Trump's claim as nonsensical.
Indian democracy is a public good. And if you're looking at the democratic, the democratic structure, it is the single most important public good. It's the largest. It's 3 or 4 times the size of the United States in terms of numbers. The so-called defenders of democracy, which are the United States, European countries, seem to just be oblivious that a huge chunk of the democratic model has come undone.
जनता उनको अगर वोट नहीं देती तो वो षड्यंत्र करके विदेशी पैसा भारत के चुनाव को प्रभावित करने में लगे ये काम करते हैं। भारत के लोकतंत्र को बदनाम करते हैं। इसके हम बहुत भर्त्सना करते हैं। कंडेम इट आउटराइट दिस ब्लेटेंट अटेम्प्ट ऑफ फॉरेन मनीज इंटरफेरेंस।
तो ये तो नहीं कहा जा सकता है कि यूपी की सरकार को हटाने के लिए किया गया और बीजेपी को लाने के लिए किया गया। तो सवाल ये है कि वो तो कोई छुपा हुआ उनका योजना नहीं था, कोई सीक्रेट नहीं था। वो ओपन था कि हम ये काम कर रहे हैं डेमोक्रेसी को और ज्यादा मजबूत करने के लिए।
फॉरेन इंटरफेरेंस की फिलहाल कोई सबूत तो नजर नहीं आ रही है। हमें तो ना पता है, इलेक्शन कमीशन को फिर इस चीज का जवाब देना होगा। क्या हमारे इलेक्शंस में कहीं पर फॉरेन इंटरफेरेंस हुआ है? क्योंकि अभी तक तो हम मान के चल रहे हैं कि हमारे इलेक्शन जो है फ्री और फेयर रहे हैं। अब अगर इस तरह की कोई बात आई है तो इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया इसमें सफाई दे।
Now, news update coming in of highly placed sources in the government have told Times Now that funds that came in during 2012 are under scanner. Times Now has learned that the agencies are trying to verify who were the final beneficiaries and where the funds were used for. As per sources, most of the documents are archived and they are being retrieved and are being looked into. Let's get in a word from Srinjoy, who is connected with us right now. Srinjoy, the Prime Minister's statement came in just before 2024 elections. What is the 2012 link that we are looking at certain documents that are to be retrieved?
Yes, the first thing is find the documents. Find the documents and look for the people who have benefited. Who are the people who got the money? That's actually very crucial. It is important to know who got the money. First, we have to investigate that, where the money actually came from and where it went. Now, the second part is something that we need to know. Who actually benefited? Who actually got those $21 million? Now, that is for the Indian government to work out. That is for the Americans to work out, because India does not, like any other country, funding an Indian election. There is an election commission. India is a country that stands on its own. We don't want $21 million from anywhere to run our elections.
All right. First, let's also play out exactly what Donald Trump has to say on this. Srinjoy continues to be with us with the U.S. aid funding. That is now the storm that has exploded. Donald Trump has dropped another bombshell, claiming and calling back as a kickback scheme. Now, this is what Donald Trump has to say on the U.S. aid funding.
Procurement in Serbia. $486 million to the Consortium for Elections and Political Process Strengthening, including $22 million for inclusive and participatory political process in Moldova, and $21 million for voter turnout in India. Why are we caring about India turnout? We got enough problems. We want our own turnout, don't we? Can you imagine all that money going to India? I wonder what they think when they get it. Now, it's a kickback scheme. You know, it's not like they get it and they spend. They kick it back to the people that send it, I would say, in many cases. Many of these cases, anytime you have no idea what we're talking about, that means there's a kickback, because nobody has any idea what's going on there. $29 million to strengthen the political landscape in Bangladesh. Nobody knows what they mean by political landscape. What does that mean? $20 million for fiscal federalism and $19 million for biodiversity in Nepal. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. What the hell do I care about? We got a lot. We got enough problems. And all of this is terminated. We terminated this stuff, and we're on the track. And by the way, so many others I could read all night long, but so many were so terrible, and some were actually disgusting. And
well, Srinjoy, isn't this a bombshell that has been dropped by the U.S. President himself? What is this kickback scheme that he seems to be talking about over here, saying that such kind of funding that is now coming across for voter turnout? Why does the U.S. or U.S. aid even care about voter turnout, and that too in India?
Well, a kickback scheme case would clearly mean that the money was actually routed back to the Americans, the ones who paid that money. Because here is Trump talking about money going to Bangladesh, to Nepal, to India, to Moldova, various countries. And it's what he's suggesting is that someone in Bangladesh, for instance, was told that, look here, we are going to give you $29 million. But actually, we are not giving you $29 million. We are actually giving you $9 million. We are only pretending we are giving you 29. You give us $20 million back.
Right.
And to our bank accounts and not to the official bank account. That's how a kickback scheme works. Now, if Donald Trump, the American president, has actually said this, he should also, or his government should also, make it clear who benefited from those kickbacks.
Well, he said that he would immediately get in touch with the government of India with this regard, as far as a statement that has now come in from the President of the United States himself. Thank you very much for the moment, Srinjoy, for getting connected with us on this story.